Ladies and gents, welcome to Crypto Chat UK. Might be looking a little bit spooky tonight. I've only got my little light with me. Wasn't intended to come on in the evening, but I found these or came across these couple of articles that I thought would be of real interest, and thought I really want to get them on tonight. So let's go through them. What is about holders in particular, and what's been going on with the Bitcoin and stuff like that. So this is an article from Bitcoinist.com, which I found of real interest. I think anybody who's holding, any of the real strong holders like myself, I'm a hodler, as they call it. Anybody who's holding onto their cryptos, in particular Bitcoin, in a strong way, particularly after the downfall, this is something that you may find of interest. It's probably kind of obvious in a way what it's saying, but it's good to hear it anyway. So, hodling and its impact on cryptocurrency adoption and liquidity. So it talks about a company called Hinlock as well, which obviously it basically gives loans for the cryptocurrency. So, for example, Hinlock locks up cryptocurrency as collateral in exchange for cash. And this can easily reduce the circulating supply of Bitcoin, putting upward pressure on its price. Now, there is a lot more to this article, and it talks about a lot of things. But what I found interesting is, like it mentions here, Hodlers are the true heroes of the cryptosphere. Yay, we're heroes. Of course we are. Said Hinlock CMO Peter Gergo. They hold their digital assets strong even during bearish sentiment, which slows the downward movement and controls supply, which eventually results in turning the tides. Now imagine what will happen when Hinlock will provide access to the purchasing power of the assets while they still be able to hodl. As a whole new perspective opens it up to going to be interesting to see the long-term effects. Now obviously this is kind of like a bit of an advertisement for Hinlock in a way and how they work. Now I wouldn't do it that way, of course. I don't need to technically put my Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrencies as an asset where I can loan money on it and so forth. I'm not sure about Hinlock. I don't know a lot about that itself. But it is an important little note to make about the fact that people holding are potentially giving the strength to Bitcoin and preventing it from going so low. Now, although that sounds pretty obvious to a degree, you don't know how much of an impact you're actually having. I mean, as a holder, we are really are making the crypto market and the cryptocurrency universe, including the blockchain, so forth. We are really the people who are holding it up in the right way. So we do need people with strong hands. So we need them strong holders. Of course we do. And although, like I said, it does sound obvious, it's great to hear, even if it might be a little bit of a promotion for Hinlock itself. But have a look at that article anyway, because it has got some other interesting stuff about that and about the theme on that. Something else I wanted to mention, this is something from CryptoNews.com. Bitcoin's ATMs are increasing. Fees don't change. Now, I'll read you quite a bit of this. I'll quickly, roughly go through it. Ever since the first machine was installed by Robocoin in Vancouver in 2013, Bitcoin ATMs have faced several ups and downs, with Robocoin itself shutting down in 2016, and more recently, malware being reported as potential threats to ATMs. Obviously, a lot of this stuff has been resolved already. But if you scroll down anyway, and you have a look at this, if you want to have a look at this article, it talks about there were 1,443 machines on August 1st, 2017, so just over a year ago. And they explain, so it is 146% growth over the last year, currently with 3,558 machines worldwide. That's what I presume means, 3,000. It says, in fact, as of writing, there are now 3,646 machines with an installation rate of 6 machines per day. Yet once again, around 2,074 of these are in the US, which has more than half of all ATMs. So I presume it means half of all cryptocurrency ATMs. Yet some features of the Bitcoin ATM landscape are changing, not least because 22% of ATMs are now in Europe. For one, there has been a growing embrace of altcoins, which are increasingly available via ATMs. So they are starting to, diversify, not just be a Bitcoin, but be with the altcoins as well. Whatever ones they choose and whichever ones they're going to focus on, I don't know. But it's talking about these ATMs. So it gives you some more figures on the usage, what cryptocurrency you'll find, what altcoins and so forth. It gives you some great information on the percentages and so forth like that. So if you want to get some more information on that. But basically, it is looking and looking like the growth that we need. They're making stuff more available. The education's out there. More people are interested in it. And these ATMs are obviously getting more exposure for the cryptoverse and for the blockchain and potentially getting more exposure in a way where people coming up and perhaps had doubts about the crypto world may start looking into it a bit more. So, I mean, it can only be a positive thing. It only proves that adoption rates are going up as we speak. I mean, six installations per day is pretty good, and 22% in Europe shows that we are actually catching up a little bit, and hopefully we'll bring that percentage of the US and Europe and other places like Asia and a lot up a little bit and make it more even. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, one thing I want to mention as well is this is something I've seen, and it's Birmingham man caught with 500k in £20 notes then released. I don't know what that is saying. I think it's about a promotion. Okay, genuinely this looks like an advertisement. It looks like one of those dodgy advertisements or something. Don't know if there's any truth to this story, what this picture comes from, and etc. But just be careful. As I've always said, I'm not a financial advisor, so just look at my my notes and the things that I research and the stuff that I say on YouTube. But go and do your research as well. So as much as you look at me and you listen to me and other YouTubers, go and have a look. But this, I think you should stay away from. There is a lot of these basically scams. It's an app called Bitcoin Wealth App, and it's a trading platform, and they're making a lot of promises. This isn't the first time we've heard stuff like this, but it's Bitcoin Wealth App. You wouldn't believe what it's saying. You can start with 190. These people are getting thousands per week, and etc., etc., etc. And that's the whole. I won't read you the whole article, but it talks about how often does a Bitcoin Wealth App make a mistake. Not at all that often, and you can make all this money. And it's not that you can't make this kind of money. Of course, you probably could if you could trade in the right way. But these things are just not true as far as I'm concerned. And if you look into it and you Googled it, you would probably find that, this is a scam. This looks like one of those advertisements that are making it look like it isn't an advertisement. And they give a lot of stuff and info about it, and people putting their notes on how good and what the results they've got from it and so forth, and they give loads of information. To be honest, if I was you, it is too good to be true, and it does look like a ridiculous scam. It can suck people in. I mean, I was astonished when I read it, and I just instantly thought this has got to be a scam. Did a little bit of research on it, and yeah, I mean that's what it looks like. But two things. So if you do come across these kind of things, people, anything with bots and stuff like that, just be careful of. I'm not saying that everything is a scam. But make sure you do your research on it. Make sure it comes from a really good place, and the people that are behind any projects or anything that they're trying to sell you are genuine. So do your research. And in my case, I never touch any of these type of things anyway, any of these bots advertisements. While I'm on, don't forget, I am on Twitter, CryptoChapUK, fairly new on Twitter. Go and check me out. Get me followed. Come and speak to me. Ask me any questions you like. And I'm also, don't forget, on Steemit. I am on Steemit as one of my old names, which is Ginger Prince. I haven't bothered changing it. So if you do want to look at me on Steemit, look me up as Ginger Prince. I will put some links on the YouTube videos from now on, so you will see some of that. And we'll just go back and have a quick look while we're on at the market before I go. Looking very, very healthy. I don't know how long this is going to stay like this, but early September looking very, very healthy. We're currently on 238 billion market cap. And the Bitcoin dominance is on about 52.1%. So there's been a few rallies in the altcoins. There's been some considerable ones as well. As you can see, Bitcoin, 1st of September, $7,196. Currently, mostly all in the greens. Only a couple that aren't. I mean, Tevi, don't worry about that. Anyway, there has been some articles about Dogecoin, or Dogecoin as they call it. That's going up massively. It went up about 60% at some point. And there's loads of stuff going on like that. So you have got pretty much greens. Don't know if we're going to have a little pullback at some point. No doubt we will. Whether it'll continue the upward movement, let's see. Don't forget there's this thing about October, which is this pattern that we have. Have a look more into that. This October pattern could be late October when we get some really bullish movement, and who knows. So if you do find some drops, some right spots, and there's something you want, I'd suggest you have a serious look at it. And get yourself some positions on ones you haven't bought yet, but also if you want extra ones and you want to secure your position even more on certain cryptos, get in there. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please subscribe. If you do like this video, hit the like button. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. Send me some questions. Let me know what you think of everything. But also, if you have subscribed or you're about to subscribe, which I hope you do, don't forget to hit that notification bell as well. Then you can get all the updates of any new videos that I bring on and any new information. Well, I'll speak to you soon, guys.